Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 232 of Kouryer podcast. Our today's guest is Miss Selin Çılgın. She's a character concept artist from Istanbul, Turkey. And of course, before we go into the signature questions of the podcast, let me quickly mention that in the for contact section of the captions, you can find the ID to our Instagram account, the links to our art station, Twitter, and YouTube channel. And with that out of the way, how are we doing today?
Good. I've been really doing good actually. This is the first day I'm free. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. Listen, but let's be honest for a second. Like, not many people in Turkey right now are doing good because of this elections.
Yeah.
And yeah, the situation is actually pretty chaotic for anyone who's like kind of ignorant or uninitiated about what's happening. Without going into too much political lessons or history, yeah, just a really weird situation is happening where yeah, I don't want to get into it too much, but it's just weird. You can just Google the things that are happening right now on Google. Yeah, I just hope the same person doesn't get elected. Let me just say that. And yeah, let's go to the first signature question of the podcast, where I start off the podcast with, which is give us a little introduction on how we got into the world of visual arts and design. Basically, tell us a story of how you decided to become an artist.
Yeah. I think my story is not so different from other artists. Like I've been drawing for as long as I can remember. I don't remember a time in my life when I didn't draw something. So only my drawing style and medium has changed for sure. My art journey started with crayons in kindergarten. Like I was drawing my favorite characters with those crayons. Well, actually, I was back then. I was trying to be like my older sister. She was drawing too. So and she was so good at that, so I wanted to be able to draw like her. So this motivation to draw like my sister continued for many years. Because of that, drawing was very important thing in my life, even back then. And there was a time when I was interested in comics for a while, and yeah, like I don't remember, but I have drawn hundreds of Spider-Mans, I guess, in that time. So yeah, and just then my sister discovered DeviantArt, which was a turning point for us because it was the first time I had seen hundreds of fan arts together and discovered illustrators from all over the world. So there were lots of fan arts for the animes, and I do lots of fan arts of them too. So I was constantly drawing fan arts, but since I don't have a graphic tablet, I wasn't good at digital drawing. So I just download the line art works I found on DeviantArt and tried to color them in Paint OSAI, which was the first program I learned. In DeviantArt there was an artist named Yumei, and she was so popular, and like she was the god of art in my eyes because she has very unique style, like watercolor looking digital style she had. And I was trying to paint like her too. And at that time I had improved myself a lot without realizing it. So it went on like this for a while. So then, when I was in high school, I discovered time-lapse videos on YouTube. And there was an illustrator named Heather Roney who drew in hyperrealistic style, and she was making famous artists' portraits. And under her influence, I returned to traditional drawing and start making hyperrealistic portraits. I don't know, but I think that most of the artists I know around me have such a period in their time that like drawing hyperrealistic portraits era, and yeah, and so it was very fun to do that because sorry,
No worries.
Okay. By the way, did you cut this part of? Um,
No,
sorry.
I'm not cutting anything. Let's just
Ah,
roll.
no.
All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what did I say? Oh, traditional art. Yeah. Uh, so these drawings also caught the attention of many people and allowed me to meet other artists and even build a small fan base from these arts. But this only lasted for a couple of years. When I was a senior in high school, I was sure I didn't want to do this for the rest of my life. While I was thinking about how to turn drawing into a job that I can make a living from, I learned that illustrators also work in games. So this was a second turning point for me, because as a person who likes to play games for as long as I can remember, I saw that I could combine two of my favorite hobbies and earn money from that. So for this, I researched which university I could go to, but unfortunately, in Turkey there were no specific university program in this field. I'm not sure right now. Maybe it changed, but in my time, the closest option was cartoons and animation program. Which was not a problem for me actually, because I think animation is the highest level of visual arts. More than just designing a character, you have to write stories and bring them to life. Like they have voices, personalities, the characters, and you design the world they live in. So it sounded like you had to know everything. So therefore, if I graduated from this program, it seemed like I would have an idea about every field. So yeah, I won the cartoon and animation program, and I hope I will graduate successfully in a month. Yeah, that's my art journey.
Nice. And by the way, like, don't worry at all about the whole interruption cutting thing. Like, actually, I wanted to put it in because for anyone who's watching or, might like, or any of the future guests that might be watching, like, you don't have to like make every product like so corporate and clean. Like,
Yeah.
like even when you put, even like, see, the point is, another point with this is like, like not everything has to be perfect. Like the one of the things I love about podcasting, aside from like videos you watch on YouTube or other stuff, is that it feels real. It feels like you're actually listening to conversation of two people. It's not some polished, like product. That feels kind of like kind of fake. In a sense.
Yeah.
But of course, there are exceptions that you have to cut for some reasons. But I don't think it's fine. Don't worry. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And actually, you touched up on some interesting topics, when you were talking about, your journey. In high school, what were you studying? Were you studying like art and design, or you were just pursuing another thing because of like the society or maybe family, or just things that, people put in our head since we're kids? I don't know, you probably wouldn't even think about art in the beginning, for most kids, even myself included at first, that art is just a hobby. You can't make a job out of it. That's what I was thinking when I was a kid, because everyone never encouraged me, or just, and it's not just my story, it's a lot of people's stories as well. But how was it for you, like when you were in, I guess, high school and wanted to pick a major and career?
No, in Turkey, there is a normal public high school type of schools, and I went there. So actually, my sister helped me again about my career path. She inspired me a lot about that too. By the way, she is in a film major, so we are not too different. Still, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Like that's good to have someone like a figure like that to guide and inspire you, I guess.
Yeah.
And All right. So, I mean, in the introduction, I mentioned that you're a character concept artist, and of course, like that's already stated. But now I want to ask you from yourself, what is your main branch of design that you're focusing on, and tell us about your experience from the start of it until now. All right. So, what I mean by that is, at some point, when you started the art and you got good at it, you self-studied. Then later on, you realize, oh shit, I actually need to learn the fundamentals. So you learn the fundamentals, but after a while, you got done with the general stuff in the arts. People want to explore other stuff, like more specifically, like how did characters resonate with you, and why did you choose a character art? Like how did that happen? That's basically what I'm trying to ask.
Well, it's hard for me to answer this because I don't have anything clear yet. You know, character concept design and illustration are two of my favorite fields. Like sometimes one is more interesting than the other. For example, like it is sometimes more fun to draw every single detail of a drawing for months. Sometimes I feel like I'm idea machine and I do lots of sketches. So yeah, I think there is a very fine line between concept and illustration. You use both on both sides. So that's why I don't see myself only a concept artist or just illustrator. But I think, I think this has been shaped by the job offers I get so far. Like I haven't had a long-term full-time work experience yet because of school, but I had good project-based experience in both concept and illustration fields. Even at my first job, I was doing both at the same time. Like my first job in the gaming industry was at a startup company, and they were working on their first game, and there were only two artists, so it wasn't easy for me. But I had designed more than 30 characters in just a month, I guess. Also, I designed I did the marketing illustrations for the game for the same game. So yeah, it was very difficult for job, but I enjoyed it in both fields. So yeah. Uh, yeah, I think it's like that. But I haven't added it to my portfolio this since the game hasn't been released yet. Um, yeah, yeah. I love doing both.
All right, awesome. Yeah, and days are kind of tricky when it comes
Yeah,
posting your work stuff.
yeah.
And now, speaking of works, how does your design process usually go? Anytime you want to start working on a new project or a piece, like basically, what does the structure of your pipeline look like?
At first, I do lots of sketches, and I choose and develop the sketches I like. Like I'm working on silhouettes, and after that, I usually go the reference research phase, and I develop the design with the references I find. And my references can be from many different places. Like sometimes I can come up with an idea from anything I see on the road. Like for example, when I like someone's glasses, I be like, oh, I can add that to my character. Sometimes inspiration comes from the outfits at the fashion show I watched. So this is actually my perfect design process, like usually in professional works. But of course the process changes according to the design they want from me. But yeah, since I am much more free in my own work, there are times when these phases change places, or just skip them. Like sometimes I design a character based on a feeling. Sometimes I go from big to small, sometimes from small to big. Like for example, sometimes I even start to the design based on a tiny details, such as just a lace shirt. I like to detail my characters as much as possible. So Yeah, like I lately I've been writing the background stories of the characters. So I think these stories make the designs look more lively. So apart from that, I also like to design characters that could be in the same universe, and I think that this make their stories more complex. So yeah, when I love the characters I design, I don't want to draw them once. So I want to continue their story. So yeah, as I said, all these details can affect the design, and I think they make the design more unique and original.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, about one of your works, I think it was posted 2 years ago on ArtStation called Crowded. The work I'm
Yeah.
talking about is the same profile picture on your Instagram as well.
Yeah.
What is the story behind that?
Um, well, it was inspired from my dream I saw. Yeah, that's it, I guess. Nothing too much in that. Uh, yeah.
That's so weird because literally one of the questions I ask a lot of guests is, "Have you ever had any inspirations from your dreams?" And you kind of
Oh,
answered that right now. That's well. Are there any other stuff you had inspirations from your dreams as well?
sorry.
Are there other pieces like the Crowded one where you took inspirations from elements from your dreams, perhaps?
Uh, sorry.
No, no worries, no worries. Like from your dreams, like how you got the inspiration for Crowded from your dreams. Like, are there any pieces that you did it like that?
No,
Oh, all right.
no.
Interesting.
It's that piece, but I do lots of sketches of the dreams I saw. Not fully rendered piece, but lots of sketches.
Just a vision. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, like a couple of years ago, one of my biggest motivations to learn art was so I could sketch out in my dreams. Like I was like, because like I'm one of those people who see like extremely visual and detailed dreams, just with different camera works and lighting and all of that. And I was like, it's such a shame that I can't, bring them somehow, like show these visions to people. And one of the reasons I started to draw, I guess, was that. But which is a funny thing because I dropped drawing and I started 3D, which still is also applies. I can do a lot of stuff with 3D as well. But yeah, like if you think about like I've always was fascinated with drawing because to me it feels like a superpower. Honestly, it's like just anything you see, you can just if you get good at it, you can just virtually bring anything you've seen on paper,
Yeah.
and that's really powerful.
Yeah.
Like imagine you have that skill and you also get high on drugs. You can see visions like geometric shapes and all that. By the way, don't do drugs, kids. I hope Spotify doesn't take this episode down. Yeah, just yeah, don't do drugs. They're bad. They're bad. But you get the point, like just the ability to put anything, that you express yourself visually. That's powerful.
Yeah.
And to me, like the thing is, I don't know, like sometimes even when I dream, in my dreams I have melodies in my dreams, like sing melodies I've never heard before, and I don't know anything about music, which is really weird. Like art is such a valuable thing, but people don't get it. The only thing most people see is art is just, oh, AI art, NFTs, like it doesn't make money, blah 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 blah, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that side of art is so underexplored, I think. Like the things that make art cool, people don't really see it. And I think it's
Yeah.
such a shame. Like one of the things I really like about, like one of the underrated things I like about Istanbul is the really strong street art community. Like there's so many like, successful street artists. Like when you just go walk near like Kadikoy and Sultan Cheshme and all that area, you see a lot of huge murals by, different artists. Which one of them actually, I kind of hate one of them for a specific reason because all he does is just insects, hyper realistic, huge insects on walls. And I don't know, you probably saw his works, like I think he's very
Yeah, I
famous,
probably saw that.
yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, I hate that guy. And Yeah, but you get the point. Like like uh, there's more to art than just finding an industry job. But I mean, I understand why people wouldn't care because like most people are like me included are we're all, I guess, in a sense, struggling to get stable in this like wheel of capitalism. I guess I don't know, but yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that people who can visualize their ideas is really good and powerful skill. Yeah, yeah.
All right,
And dreams,
so
I think dreams is an excellent source of inspiration.
yeah, both good inspiration and bad inspiration, like
Yeah.
both from your nightmares and also your good
Oh,
dreams.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so weird. Nightmares are usually more visually more impressive to me. I don't know why. Like on a technical level, the artist in my brain who does the nightmares is much more talented. The artist who does the good dreams in my brain, I guess. I don't know why. Like honestly, it's so messed up. And like another thing I wanted to ask you is about like I mean you kind of mentioned you've been playing games your whole life. I mean even if without you saying this from your fan arts and everything you do, like it's obvious. Like and actually one of my favorite pieces of you, which actually is going to be the art image that I'm going to use for the first post Instagram post on the page for this episode, is the Star Guardian Akali one.
Oh, yeah.
And first, tell me when did you got like when did you get familiar with this whole universe in just a game like League of Legends games?
Um, I used to play in high school, but in university I didn't play it that much League of Legends. But my favorite game is actually the Resident Evil series. I'm so addicted to this game that I played over and over again, even though I finished it. And yeah, the latest Resident Evil 4 is out, and unfortunately, I still couldn't play because I'm busy. But yeah, I watched several YouTubers' videos, and it looked perfect. And I love Silent Hill too, but I couldn't look at their latest games as well. But the game journey started with my sister. Actually, she loved to play Resident Evil so much, and we play together this game. So yeah, yeah.
That's interesting because at first when I saw it, I thought you were gonna say you play games like Stardew Valley, like
Oh no.
games like that. But this is like the complete opposite. It's just like Silent Hill, Resident Evil. Or
Yeah, I know.
yeah, and first of all, I'm so sorry you had to play League of Legends. I'm sure that was such a traumatic, horrible experience.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like, yeah, like it's never a good thing. Like you'd lose part of your soul playing that game, especially when you play it alone. And about like other games. What are games? Not just about games, by the way. Let's talk about franchises in general. What franchises of entertainment really inspired you since you were a kid? Like since when you were a kid till now,
Um, there is a game named Tohu. It's not a very popular game, but I think it's still popular in Japan. It's a Japanese game. Zune, who made the game, maybe the one of the most successful game makers I've ever seen. Like, I think he blends Japanese mythology into the game very well, and I love the Toho franchise so much. So yeah.
Tohu isn't it the game with like the little girl and
Yeah. There's lots of girl characters
yeah.
in the game.
Yeah, because I just checked it and so because the name was familiar, I was like, I heard it, I saw that somewhere before.
Years ago, it's kind of popular in Steam.
Yeah, is it like a click and point adventure, like those puzzle things?
Some games are like that, but some of them more like arcade style, like
Like
Tekken,
2D
Street
platformer.
Fighter.
Oh,
Yeah. 2D.
all right, interesting. And who are some of your favorite artists and designers that have inspired you the most?
Um, well, this has changed many times. Like there will probably be many names I can't think of right now, but comic book illustrators may be the ones who have inspired me the most for my art style. Even though you can see the impact of them in my art, I literally learned so many things from them. I love Otto Schmidt's stylized portraits. George Jimenez is also a legend. I hope I'm pronouncing the names correctly. Zen was also my idol for a long time. I even studied every drawing of Zenshin back then. I love Mauro Belfiore's designs. Um, I've been studying his works lately. Other than that, Cheng Wei Pan, Esben Lesh, Alex Flores, Gerald Perel, Alex Garner, Jihoon Lee. Like, I can name so many names. I can name so many. Yeah, I adore the illustrators at Blizzard, and but if there are two artists that I find the most inspired me, they are definitely Otto Schmidt and Mauro Belfiore. Apart from these legendary names, there are many illustrators that I love on ArtStation and Twitter. Like these two platforms are heaven for discovering new artists. So yeah, these are my favorite ones.
Yeah, and right now, by the way, I'm saying this as also like a not a warning, but just advice to all the other artists who might be listening to this podcast. Don't sleep on LinkedIn. Like in the past couple of years, actually, LinkedIn has been getting really, really better for artists to find jobs. So if you have a completed set of like, LinkedIn profiles, and even better, connect with, artists, on LinkedIn, make a good connection network. You might be surprised how many like new people you might find to get learn from, or even, maybe help you, get a job. And so definitely, don't sleep on LinkedIn. And yeah, just make your LinkedIn profile today as soon as you can. The sooner you get on that, the sooner you're going to grow, the sooner you're going to get a job. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And also, what are you working on right now that you can tell us about? What kind of project is it? I mean, of course, NDAs are always a thing, but if that's not the case, and just like feel free to share anything you can, basically.
Right now, I'm more focused on my personal works. Like I'm trying to develop my portfolio, and I also make mini comics right now. But as a job, I am currently a character designer in an NDR project. But it's been a week since I've been involved in this project, so there's not much to tell. But I can say that it's a nice casual game, and I hope I can share my drinks after that. And for this game, sorry. Other than that, I'm also working in our graduation film.
In what?
In animation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And what kind of animation is it like? When it will be out? Is it in the early process or?
Um. Well, it's we make this film as a team, so it will be finished on beginning of the June. We hope so. Um, yeah, the film is about a Turkish mythological character named Hırtık. I don't know it has an English name, but
It sounds like Heretic. Maybe I don't know if they're related or not.
oh, I don't know. I don't actually know the meaning of the Hırtık. Maybe it's a special name for that character. But yeah, that's the idea of the film.
All right, awesome. And like all this time we've been talking about art and different stuff, but now I want to ask you: is there anything non-art related going on in your life, or you want to pursue later on in the future? Like basically, what other aspirations or hobbies or plans that you might have right now or in the future that are completely non-arts related?
Well, I love making music. Like I love playing the piano and violin. So yeah, I need to improve more. But in my free time, I try to play the piano as much as possible. And also, I use FL Studio. So I love making music in there too. So yeah, I would love to progress further in this field too. But yeah, I also started going to the gym. Like actually, this is not a hobby far from art because the reason I go to the gym is to sit at my desk all day and got tired of driving. So being able
That's
to
dedication, actually.
yeah, being able to draw well sometimes does not just mean drawing regularly. It is also very important to pay attention to your physical health.
Yes,
So
because after
yeah,
all, if you don't, you turn into a shrimp. And you don't want
yeah,
your body to turn into a shrimp. You want to be sit straight and just work for 12 hours. But if you're not fit, you can't do that.
yeah.
And also,
That's
like,
right.
not just about body, like, yeah, sitting 12 hours probably behind the screen is not good for your eyes, good for your
Yeah.
just take regular breaks. Like, actually, let me tell you something. One time I did this experiment. Like, I put like 1 hour alarms, like timer on my phone. And every time the alarm would go off, I would just get up and do 10 push-ups and get back to work. And actually, that helped a lot until my chest started getting really sore. And I was like, I should find another workout. So it turned into squats and turned into things. But after a while, I don't know, my body started to hurt a little bit. And I thought maybe working out while my body is cold is not a good idea, I guess. So I guess just every 1 hour walking around and getting around, or maybe just, or no, actually that might be too much. Like every 2-3 hours, go outside your house, maybe get some fresh air and get back. I don't think
Yeah,
that's
that
so
would
bad.
be nice too. That would be
Yeah,
okay too.
just as a challenge, like pick a song, like 4 or 5 minute song, listen to it, and while you listen to it and it finishes, you go out, just walk and get back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I
Okay.
might do that. Yeah, and yeah. With that being said, we've reached the final question and section of the podcast, which is called
Oh,
Time Capsule. All right, let me explain basically in a scenario. The thing I want to ask you is: imagine you only have a couple of minutes left, and after that, you basically gonna get sent and ejected into space. Like you're in a space station, all right? And there's a timer ticking down, like 3:29, 3:28, and you have just a couple of minutes left. And after that, you're going to be sent, and no one will ever see or hear from you again. All right. And Lord knows if you'll survive or not, but that's not the point. All right. The point is you have like a limited amount of time, and you have a voice recorder in your cabin, and you can record your last words. Now, in that moment, and imagine this voice recording is going to be found by, I don't know, just anyone, not even your loved ones, just anyone. All right.
okay.
So from yourself, a human, to another human being, and that another human being is anyone who might listen to this podcast or that recording at any point of time in the future. And now that I think about it, this scenario is really dark. Like because I've been explaining this scenario to every guest, and it's like I'm ejecting every guest after the podcast into the space. And this is like any last words. And so basically, yeah, in that scenario, what would you say or what would you have to say? If you need to take your time, take your time. And also don't worry if you think your answer might be cliche. Trust me, it won't be cliche. Just,
Okay. Well, that's good and deep question. um, well, I think it's very important to understand why you love what you love. Like sometimes people around us can belittle our goals and discourage us. Like in times like this, it is very important to remember why you love what you do because this purpose will give you the strength and motivation to lead you to your goal. So being happy with what you do depends on it, I guess. So I think that applies to art or anything else matter. So also sometimes taking a break is part of the development. So having a healthy relationship with the job you love is very important. Like sometimes it's better to rest and come back again. So Yeah.
All right, pretty solid points actually. And
Oh.
again, thank you so much for coming by. And where can people contact you if they had any questions? Is there an Instagram account? Okay. All right. So yeah, that's okay. The Instagram account is linked down in the description for anyone who might want to follow or have a question. And with that being said, thanks again for coming by, and thank you to anyone who tuned in and listened to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as well. As always, leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions or comments or just anything you have in mind, or you can just send it to me on our Instagram profile. And with that being said, take care everyone and stay safe till the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye.